Every morning, at the lowest level of the same concrete structure, a silver 2011 Honda Civic parks. Its paint is slightly faded by the sun, and it carries a small dent on the right rear bumper from a decade ago. To the other white-collar professionals entering the building, the owner of this car is nothing more than a silhouette of failure, or at best, a clerk struggling to survive. His colleagues look at his old car and assume he is wondering how to pay his next bill, or perhaps spending sleepless nights over credit card debt. Sometimes, the idea of helping him or suggesting a better career path even crosses their minds. However, behind this rusty hunk of metal and its ordinary-looking driver lies a massive financial ocean. This man has $4.2 million in low-cost index funds. He owns his home outright. He doesn't owe a single cent. The entire education cost for his children was placed into a fund before they even started primary school. And today, that fund has grown into millions. He chooses to come to this building every morning because he loves his job. But if he wanted to, he could resign tomorrow morning and travel the rest of the world. He chooses the Civic on purpose because to him, a car is nothing more than a tool that goes from point A to point B. The legendary study by Thomas Stanley and William Danko, The Millionaire Next Door, proved that this image is the rule, not the exception. According to the research, the median price millionaires pay for their cars is just $31,367. An automotive analysis by Experian revealed a striking truth. 61% of people earning more than $250,000 a year do not drive luxury brands like BMW or Mercedes. They drive Hondas, Toyotas, or Fords. Real wealth is built in a silence that does not feel the need to scream. Sociologist Thorstein Veblen introduced the concept of conspicuous consumption over a century ago, but he could not have predicted that modern advertising would reach such a savage level. Veblen's core observation was this: people do not buy products just for their utility, but for the signals they send to their environment. Luxury brands do not actually sell materials or technology. They sell a narrative, a confirmation of status. A $50,000 watch does not show the time more accurately than a $50 Casio. That massive $49,950 difference is a status tax paid for the ability to say to others, "I am successful, I am powerful." The irony is that those who pay this tax the most are usually the ones who can least afford it. 8% of people earning less than $100,000 a year own luxury vehicles. For someone earning $50,000 a year to drive a $60,000 car is financial suicide. Yet society applauds this suicide as success. Real wealth builders do the math differently. To them, every dollar spent is a captured soldier of capital that cannot provide compound growth for 30 years. Let's do the math. If you choose an $80,000 car instead of a $30,000 car and invest that $50,000 difference for 25 years at a 7% annual return, the future value reaches approximately $271,371. This means a single car choice can wipe out more than $250,000 from your retirement account. The price of looking wealthy is the inability to actually be wealthy. Looking wealthy threatens not just your wallet, but your security. The visibility of wealth creates digital and physical problems that invisibility entirely avoids. A 2025 study by Empower shows that 62% of everyday millionaires avoid extravagant lifestyles to protect their wealth. According to Javelin Research, while 6.4% of ordinary people experience identity theft, this rate rises to 8.1% for wealthy individuals. Even more dangerous are the operations security experts call whaling. This type of fraud targets profiles that showcase their wealth on social media, post locations at expensive restaurants, or share their luxury watches. Attackers meticulously study the victim's life, and by pretending to be their private banker or family member, can transfer millions of dollars. The Federal Trade Commission reported that in 2023, Americans lost $10.3 billion to fraud. Looking wealthy is like being a billboard for criminals. Looking poor is the most effective firewall. Stanley and Danko divide people into two categories: the prodigious accumulator of wealth, or PAW, and the under-accumulator of wealth, or UAW. These categories are not about your paycheck, but about your character. The formula is simple. Multiply your age by your gross annual household income and divide by 10. If you are 40 years old and earn $150,000, your net worth should be $600,000. If you are below this, you are an under-accumulator. UAWs are often highly educated, high-income professionals, like doctors or lawyers. They are prisoners of the better-than theory. While trying to have a better house than their colleagues, or a more luxurious boat than their neighbors, millionaires. They actually spend their income instead of accumulating it. PAWs, on the other hand, are quiet. They don't just understand compound interest intellectually, they integrate it into their lifestyle. One of the greatest advantages provided by invisible wealth appears at the negotiation table. When the other party does not know your position, they cannot charge you a premium price. As Warren Buffett said, he never worried about being overcharged because nobody knew how wealthy he was. When a contractor comes to his house, or he sits down with a seller, his old car and plain clothes give him incredible bargaining power. Furthermore, in the professional world, a boss who sees you as hungry and needing the job puts less pressure on you, while actually sitting on a $4 million portfolio, appearing to share the same struggles as your colleagues, creates a space of professional alliance. No one feels envy towards you. No one expects you to pay more than your share. This social invisibility provides absolute authenticity in relationships. One of the most striking findings of the Millionaire Next Door research concerns children. There is a negative correlation between the financial outpatient care provided by wealthy parents and the success of those children in building their own wealth. Parents who constantly provide cash aid or buy luxury vehicles for their children are actually sending them a hidden message: I don't believe you can succeed on your own. Children of the quietly wealthy grow up unaware of the existence of a safety net. This makes them more ambitious, more frugal, and more resilient. While children in families that look wealthy become passive by waiting for an inheritance, children in wealthy families that look poor are forced to build their own foundations. According to the theory of hedonic adaptation, the pleasure given by a new luxury product, for example, a Porsche, lasts only a few weeks. Then that car becomes normal, and your mind chases an even higher model. The treadmill never stops. However, those with invisible wealth have opted out of this game. Their peace comes not from the objects they own, but from the power to say no that the money in the bank gives them. No to a bad boss, no to an unwanted relocation, no to a work pace that destroys health. Real wealth is not what you can buy. It is what you do not have to buy. The 2011 Honda Civic in the parking lot is not a deficiency. It is a monument of wisdom. That vehicle is its owner's choice to invest in his future every month instead of trying to impress someone else. Displaying status is a rental transaction made to win the admiration of strangers, and the interest on this transaction is very high. The secret the millionaires next door understand is this: wealth is not the magnificent spending seen from the outside. It is the money that has not been spent. Looking wealthy is an illusion. Being actually wealthy is freedom. When you reach 55, do you want a wardrobe full of luxury clothes, or the deep inner peace of knowing you don't have to go to work?